What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. It's time for the Dudes in Blue. It's episode 122. It's a little bonus episode on this Thursday night. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. Dude, what is up?
Well, we lost.
Yeah, well, we did lose.
I feel like we did.
We gained. No, you and I gained.
We actually did in a lot of different ways. But thank you guys for joining us for episode 122. It's a bonus episode because we had a midweek game. We're able to cover the New England match from last night at Yankee Stadium. I hope you guys are all doing well. Let us know where you're watching from and say hi to us and leave the comments. Share this broadcast with your friends and give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue. I don't know if we're going to get to 45 minutes plus stoppage time tonight, dude, because we're going to just be, if you want to hear what we're going to say tonight, just listen to Monday night's episode because it's going to be a lot of the same.
And if you missed that one, just go back to last Monday's episode.
And it'll be exactly the same. So off the bat, let's just say hi real quick to Dave, Rob, Joey, Coco. Hey, Coco threw out she got the coin toss.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Fantastic. And
she didn't kill anybody, which is fantastic.
And listen, I know she was concerned. So David Villa was still alive. His shot, not so much, but he was still alive. Lalo is coming in saying hello, and Dave, greetings from Wapawalopen, PA. Is that how you say that? I'm not even going to try anymore. All right.
Walla Washington.
So listen, if you're watching, there is no surprise that NYCFC has been dealt their very first loss at Yankee Stadium in the 2018 season. And that's that. We got that one out of the way. Okay. First, right off the bat, the fact that it came on the hands at the hands of the New England Revolution is very, very frustrating because their form has been really bad lately, as was ours. They were a more desperate side. We were a depleted side, but still, with the lineup that Domè put out last night, dude, I felt like we should have gotten a better result.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not talk about the numbers yet. Just lineup-wise, we should have gotten a better result.
Listen, anytime you've got players like Villa and Ring on the pitch, Callens, Johnson, these guys, they are difference makers. They are very big difference makers. And you're playing against a team like New England that's struggling, much like we were. With our home form, I mean, theoretically, a majority of the lineups you put out featuring, a solid core of guys is going to do it. And yesterday, it just was not meant to be.
No, it was definitely not. Rob on Facebook says, no more pitch side seats. I think you are correct, sir.
Well, considering how much they cost, yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. You just saved me a lot of money, Rob.
Gladly agree.
So, by the way, dude, huge thank you to Lauren for hooking us up with that. That's like, you should marry her. That's what you should do.
Oh, you know what? I might do that. Let's maybe May 4th of next year.
May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
I also have to point out that if you're listening on the podcast, I am wearing a Manchester City kit because I would like to represent a City team that actually knows how to win a game or two. Sorry, dude. Sorry, everybody, but that's just the reality of it.
I don't blame you.
So, like you said, dude, lineup-wise, I think he put out, maybe with the exception of Jonathan Lewis, he put out the best squad that we probably could have had, knowing, between all of our international duty and the injuries, knowing what we had to deal with there. That was probably the best lineup that we could have had against a New England side at home, right? But that's but that doesn't really matter, does it, dude? Because we still didn't wind up getting the result. And there's all right. Before we get into like the negatives here, dude, the one. What? You're looking at me.
Just listen, there's
because you're ready.
There's so many negatives to get into and very few positives.
Well, okay. So the only positive, besides sitting pitch side, because that was absolutely incredible, was James Sands, in my opinion. And guys in the comments, let us know what you thought of James Sands' performance, because this was kind of a momentous occasion for him. Was this his first start in a...
Yes, not his first match.
No, not his first match, but his first start.
His first MLS start, yeah.
So I'm going to put it out there that he kind of fit right in. I thought his play was really clean. He had that the header opportunity, right? That unfortunately, didn't find the back of the net. But nevertheless, he put in a good performance for a 17, 18-year-old kid that gets his first start for NYCFC. Dude,
yeah, I don't. It's funny watching him play. If you would have told me that he's been playing for us for the last 2 seasons, the way he played last night, I would have believed you. Very poised, doesn't play like a kid. He plays like a guy who's, at least, 7 or 8 years older than what he is. Physically, he doesn't look, he doesn't look like much. Not a stocky kid. He's on the leaner side. But going up against these bigger fellows from New England, he was holding his own and doing a pretty good job at it. Again, there's always room for improvement with everybody. But for me, I have no problem playing him going forward. I don't think the lack of experience, game experience now with the loan, I don't think that's an issue. I think he knows the system. He's come up through it. He's played this way. He knows what's expected of him, and he does his job. I don't think last night he wasn't a liability to me, as what some people would have thought. I think he played pretty well. Didn't play great, wasn't outstanding, but he had his chances and he took them, which is nice. Defensively sound. I don't know what more you want out of a player that looks like he fits in his very first game.
Yeah, and that's what I felt like, dude. I felt like, if nothing else, he fit in really well with what was going on last night, which is, is a lot to say, because you're already playing with a depleted squad. The guys that, he was probably training with are not usually, starters. It's tough to throw a kid into that kind of situation, and he picked it up better than I anticipated he would. So,
sure.
Joey is saying, watched a few of his games when he was in Louisville. He looked really good at that level. And I think that's honestly what the kid needs. The kid just needs more minutes on the ball and more minutes on the pitch, and that'll be great. Dave is saying, so cool, calm on the ball for a kid. Dude, I said that actually, I think it was in preseason where we saw him a lot, and I was like, dude, this kid looks like he's like so cool and collected.
Yeah, not doesn't let his emotions get to him like most of the players do. Just again, one of those quiet, reserved guys that comes to work, does his job, and that's what you get. That's pretty much the gist of it. He's a solid player from what we've seen so far. I expect him to grow and continue to grow, and as long as he gets minutes, I think he's going to be a good player for the next 4 or 5 or 6 years for us. Again, barring City trying to sell people left and right.
Yeah.
I think he'll be here for a while. I think he'll be one of the midfielders that kind of sticks around.
So, dude, that's enough for the positivity. Let's switch over here to WTF happened last night.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I'll tell you what. I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you, but I'm getting very, very pissed off at this team, because we're talking 1 win in our last 7 matches. We're talking we've scored 2 goals out of our last 4 straight games. This is horrible. Against teams that we arguably should have been able to at least go toe-to-toe with. So this is a repeat of what happened last year. Nobody could find the back of the net. There was a shortage of goals late August into September, which followed straight into October, where we couldn't find the back of the net. It was 1 goal or 0 goal games for NYCFC. Why does this happen at this point every single season? It's getting very annoying.
It's something in the air.
What is it?
I have no explanation because listen, it's almost a spitting image of last season. And last season, you didn't have these excuses. You didn't have the injuries. You didn't have a new coach. It's just the same thing is happening. And it's
identical.
I can't. It's just let's just start off with the coach. Yesterday's performance was much better than the game prior. The effort was there, and we sat right there, and I can tell you, everyone busted it a majority of the game. You had people kind of frustrated towards the end. I understand that, but for the most part, everyone was on their horses. It's almost like the talent disappears from these guys. It's almost like Domè used the clinical. There's no clinical here. There's no textbook
quality, dude.
Here.
It's quality.
That's
the word we're looking for.
Completely vanished from the squad.
And
now I know the effort's there.
It's only quality in the final third, where it matters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a product of everything else, though. I mean, it's just listen. You can't say it's a poor effort when they take almost 30 shots. There's effort there. You want to tell me when there's no effort is when they put 2 goals, 2 shots on goal. That's, for me, is little effort. 30 shots is a different story. But quality-wise, if you put that many shots on, at least 3 or 4 got to go in.
Right. I want to get to a couple of comments here.
Do it.
Dave says that's the best we've played recently, in my opinion, and I agree with that. And in some ways, I agree with what Domè said. He's upset about the result, but he's not too upset about how the team played. Like you said, dude, you put 27 shots. You take 27 shots. You didn't put 27 shots on target, but you took 27 shots, which we had a problem with how many shots they took this past weekend, right? So we had an issue with that in the Columbus, and this kind of seemed to turn that around a little bit, right? But to go back to what you were saying earlier, the quality just was not there. Coco is saying, overall, last night was much better than our other recent losses, but none of that matters if we can't finish. Look, New England was a lot more efficient the way that they played. They took 11 shots, put 5 on target. We took 27 and put 6 on target. It also didn't help that most of those shots were put right at the New England keeper.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's that quality, dude. There's that final touch. Is horrible. Absolutely horrible.
It's not.
And from everybody. This is not, yeah. I'm not singling anybody out here.
No. Everybody is guilty. It's like you're almost trying to overcompensate, and you can't overcompensate by substituting quantity with quality. You can't do it. You're expending a lot of energy taking 30 shots on goal when 90% of them don't hit the target. You're getting into these. This team is in quicksand. This team is in quicksand before our eyes, and the more they keep digging and the more they keep trying, it's just they're in over their heads. And if this is the best we can come up with, we are done. There is not a chance in hell that this team is going anywhere if this is the best performance that they can do. Now, granted, I understand we're dealing with injuries and suspensions and people on international duty. I understand that. But if we get healthy and the form is this way, it's not going to do it. It's just not going to cut it. And it's sad to say because the team was ridiculously talented. Everywhere, at every position, they have great amount of talent. And it's just, it's at moments in time yesterday, it's like, where is this team playing? What formation is going on? Is Sands a defensive mid or is he a center back? Is Maxey a striker? Why is Maxey so far up the field? I feel like this team under Patrick, the 3 forwards had ability to roam and change sides of the pitch. And it was mostly towards, the final third. this team, everybody is just mix matching and meshing up, and you got midfielders playing forward, and I don't know what's going on. Why is there so much free form happening? Why can we not just keep it controlled? You know, I think Domè's style of play is, I know Mike from Blue City mentioned it today on Twitter. It's very position based. And if guys are out of position and they keep doing their free form thing or playing a new spot, it's kind of hard for them to be where the ball should be if they're not familiar. I don't know if that's a valid excuse or not. I mean, I'm not at training. I'm not giving the orders here, but it's so difficult to watch a team fall apart before your eyes when you know that they had the capability of doing so much better.
Well, we've seen it, dude. Like we've seen them play a whole hell of a lot better. Granted, we've had Tajuri Shradi healthy and, not on international duty. We had Burgett healthy. Even Afori to an effect has been effective in the midfield, filling in for Young El Herrera to an extent, right? So this if you take it at face value, when you look at it like we were without half of our team, and they were able to still put a good performance up on the board, but not get the result. I feel like because the form has been so bad, like if the form prior to this match was better, we would not be as upset about this game last night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's like
because this is the one you expect to not get the result out of, if anything. But
I guess it's more of for me. It's like if the form was better leading up to this game, and all of a sudden the injuries hit and the players are out, you're missing guys, and
they put up this performance.
I would be like, wow, we played relatively well for the circumstances, but under
this is
what
just
happened,
extending.
It's just like it makes you feel like if this is the best we can do, like
we're done. One and done, baby.
Yeah, it's just, never mind Shield, never mind Champions League, never mind Cup. You really got to worry about just the next game and trying to stay where you are in the standings. Otherwise, your home game's out the window, and then we all know how we play on the road.
All right, CJ on Facebook is saying that's just an excuse. Villa, New Jack, Maxey, Tinnerholm, Mata, Collins, Sean Johnson should be way more than enough to beat a Revs team that hasn't won in 2 months at home. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree. We're
not
debating that.
We led the show with that. We said that. All those guys were clearly talented enough to win yesterday's match, to win a majority of the matches, to be honest with you. It wasn't a bad lineup put out there.
No, we said that at the beginning of the episode. This was in my opinion, this was the best lineup, maybe with the exception of Jonathan Lewis, that we could have put out to get the result. The problem was that, yes, CJ, with that lineup, when you put 27 shots, one of them's got to go in.
Yeah.
That is a factor of quality right there. That is not a factor of quantity. That's not a factor of who's out there. You put 27 shots, a couple of them should go in. And out of 27, a hell of a lot more of them, more than 6, need to be on frame. And even more so than that, pick a side of the net. It's 24 feet wide. You decided to hit it to a 2-foot wide goalkeeper.
If that. I don't even think he's 2 feet wide. Again, and nobody is free from criticism. David Villa was horrible yesterday in the final third.
He did have that one opportunity, though, he did have a couple. He had a couple of looks, but the quality wasn't there.
No, it just wasn't there. And again, I will give credit where it's due, and I will dish out the criticism when it's due. And Maxey was awful yesterday. Ring was awful yesterday. Manages to get himself suspended for next game, which is
we got to talk about that in a second.
Worry about that right now, but you can't expect to play that poorly in the final third and win games. And it's a shame because I think if they would have won that game, seeing what they did, in the middle of the field and their own end, I would have been happy. I would have been so happy seeing that effort moving forward. And it wasn't like they were beating us with long balls or anything. Our defense was doing a pretty solid job of keeping them at bay.
Dude, we
But
outpassed them. We outpossessed them.
we did everything.
Outcrossed them. Outcornered them. Dude, just about everything. The only thing that we didn't out them was the clearances. They had 54 clearances to our 11.
And that is a result of very poor, very sloppy service into the area. That was really bad. It was really, really, really bad. You couldn't find anybody in the box. And it's funny because usually these are our bread and butter sometimes. I mean, you get deep in the box and a trailer comes in and he's got a wide open shot. We've seen plenty of goals like that. I just don't, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words, thoughts, ideas of anything that could possibly fix this team right now. It's clearly not an effort thing. I think it's a mental breakdown of some sort. And another thing, this team is not having fun.
This team is not
having fun. No, this team is not having fun on the field. You could tell the frustration has mounted to a point where it's boiling over at this point, and the water is out of the pot, and it's creating a mess everywhere. And I think they really need to strip it down. They need to get back to basics. They need to get as many people healthy as possible over the next break that they have. And they just need to figure out how to go back to basics and keep it very simple. It's not a difficult game. Keep it simple, and if you can string together 1 or 2 wins going into the playoffs, I think that might be all it takes to set this team up, for a good run. But again, it's off-putting hearing the comments of the coach that the result. You know what? I'm sorry, but at this time of the year, the results do kind of matter. The final score does matter, and again, it's not indicative. It's not always indicative of the way you play. We've played plenty of games where we've won by a margin of 2 or 3 goals and still have looked really shaky. We played that game against Orlando and we looked really shaky, and we managed to win by more than 1 goal. Where Kleshin missed the penalty. It's like games like that happen all the time, and it's I say it all the time. They may win certain games, but it is masking a very big flaw, and it rears its head at this time of the year. I guess maybe the fatigue catches up with them, scheduling. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear it's the coach's fault, it's the player's fault. Everyone's got a hand in this. And to just touch on before we move any further, the Domè out talk.
I was just going to bring that up because I have a comment here that I got to throw up here.
If you guys throw it up there, and then we'll eviscerate it if needed.
Okay, so CJ on Facebook, this could be a blessing in disguise for NYC. We know we aren't going to get a first-round bye now. It's time to decide if Domè should be the manager or we get a new manager in for the final 6 and get ready for the playoffs where we can rest our guys and hopefully coast to the 3 seed. I just want to speak my piece on this because I commented a couple times on social media over the last 12 hours or so. The Domè out conversation, dude. For me, this is just for me. It's way too early to be having that conversation. If give him a full squad, right? Forget about the fact that he came in halfway through the season, right? Forget about the fact that he came. Let's take that out of the equation. Let's give him a full lineup, sans injuries and international duty, and let's give him 5-6 games, maybe running into the playoffs to see what happens. Because I'll tell you what, when he started, this team was playing well. This team was playing, well, relatively well.
Do we forget the 9-point week we had when he started?
All home games, right? But nevertheless, right? Nevertheless, correct. Okay? Picking up first Derby win, picking up 9 straight points at home. For me, I think it's too early to have the Domè out conversation. It's been 12, 13 matches. I want to see at least a full season with a full lineup before I make that point. But again, that could change. That could change for me depending on how the rest of the season is handled. I still think it's too early.
I think as of right now, it is absolutely ridiculous. It is by far the worst thing you could do at this point in time. People don't realize that starting over is difficult. It's very difficult and you're not going to get a coach that's going to just transition in and everybody's going to be all well and dandy. And honestly, if we play like this when he first started,
Chris Armas ain't doing a bad job, dude, over at Red Bull. But he was there, so
he was there.
He was
knows. He's inheriting something that's already. He's getting a car that's already working. It's not a work of where you got to put your own spin on it. It's a totally different story. We're talking about right now. This guy has a different style of play than Patrick Vieira, albeit it's kind of similar in certain aspects. It's really not in a lot of others. So this guy really hasn't had a transfer window where he's got, ripe pickings, to be honest with you. He's coming halfway through a season. He's got this is his first managerial job, which again, the guy's coached everything. He's won so many trophies. Again, he was with
always
other
as an
people.
Assistant, though.
But you know what, though? You gotta start somewhere.
Always a bridesmaid, dude.
Listen, you've seen him win the games, and I know he's got the plan. The plan does work when it's worked properly.
When you have the talent to execute. This is the same conversation we had about Patrick Vieira, who wanted to play out of the back until it took us time to find the right guys to be able to do it properly.
Yeah, so now you have to afford this guy the same amount of time to find the players that he needs to fulfill whatever it is he wants to do on the pitch.
I'll tell you, it's not Eloy Amagat. That man looks like he does not belong on a soccer field. He looks like he belongs
in that 55 and over community,
in a pickup league.
I can't see getting rid of the guy he didn't take those shots yesterday. I mean, let's face it. You're going to praise the guy if we win 4-1 yesterday, aren't you? You can't just point fingers at the coach when the players aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. It doesn't always work that way. And unfortunately, he's the easiest person to fire because he's one man and not, 18 or 20 of the team. You got to give him a chance, and you have to understand that it's not always easy. And if you're going to tell me, listen, you want to get rid of somebody after half a season, nobody's going to want to coach here. Nobody's going to want to coach here because you have to be perfect from start to finish. And I think that's where all this New York entitlement comes from that we all, have. And I'm guilty of it. You are. My dad is
of course,
totally guilty
dude.
of it.
Of course, this is New York.
We have to win right now. Otherwise, it's a complete failure. And we have to realize that step out of the box. And again, we need progression every year. That's always nice. But to get rid of a guy after half a season when he's been depleted with, ravaged by injuries, you've got there's so many different factors going into this that to want to get rid of him is absolutely asinine. Give the guy a chance. Give him a season. Afford him the same luxury that Patrick Vieira got before you start making judgments. Because to judge a guy based on the last couple of losses, with the team that we've had and, just the woes, you can't do it. It's just not fair to him.
I want to get to a comment here, dude. Javier on Facebook is saying, even Pep struggled at his first season at Man City. Very true. I question the players, but still, Domè is falling short as well as players. Sands over Amagat. I think I'm not comparing NYCFC to Man City in any way, shape, or form, but you gotta draw some parallels here because Domè is from that camp.
I will say this. Yesterday, I don't know if you noticed it, but we were sitting right there. He's freaking 20 feet from us. Not really yelling too much at the players. Not really calling players out of position. Patrick was very vocal when he was here.
Domè's he's a quiet guy, dude.
Quiet guy.
He's an assistant coach, man.
So now, this is why I think he and Pep were two halves of one very, very good coaching staff because Pep is that voice. He is that demonstrative voice in the locker room. He's the speaker. He can persuade you. He can get you motivated. He can, if anybody hasn't watched it and you have Amazon Prime, go watch the Manchester City documentary and listen to how Pep talks to his team. And you tell me, it doesn't get you fired up sitting there watching it. I get to 2 episodes and I'm just like, I love Pep. I love Pep. I think you have the tactical portion in Domè, and I think you have the speaker in Pep together that created a two-headed monster. Sure. I think Pep is just Domè is a little quiet, and he had no problem yelling at the referee.
No, we did hear that.
Constantly barking at the ref yesterday.
I think Domè thought the linesman was the same linesman from the last game because there was an offside call. It was bad. There was an offside call. And he literally says to the guy, "Every time over here, every time. Why is it always the same thing here?" It's like, did they tell him it's a different linesman every game? It was really, really funny. Real quick on Facebook, Amanda, my phone is striking out, trying to get Facebook Live to go. Just wanted to say hi. It was great running into you guys last night. Sorry we caused NYCFC to lose the last 2 games. I'm just going to stay in Indiana. It was really nice running into you, Amanda. Yes, stay in Indiana.
And if your flight is like later on next week, we will pay to get you out sooner.
I will get you in first class tomorrow. No, it was great meeting you. And thanks for posting the picture on Twitter as well. Very, very cool. Dude, listen, let's, there's really just 2 more things that I want to do before we send this one off into the sunset, dude. First is, due to the match, and then last is a look ahead to Saturday's match against DC United, because we definitely have to talk about that. So, dude, who was the dude of the match? Because, I don't know I don't know.
Our waiter, Phil.
Oh, he was a great dude.
He's good.
He was a dude of the match, I would say. Guys, in the comments. Put him in the comments. Who's the dude of the match?
Our glasses were overflowing constantly. It was fantastic. No,
dude, I don't know.
Honestly, the best bright spot on our team, not that they did anything exceptionally well, and even their keeper made 6 saves, but honestly, I think 4 of them were like directly at the keeper. Like, he didn't have to stop them. They just would have hit.
No, I cannot give it to him. I'm sorry.
So he's not getting it. No. None of the players are getting it. I mean, I'm going to go with James Sands.
So you're going to go with an NYCFC player. Okay.
I'm going to go with James Sands. I think for what we expected and what we got, or for what we didn't expect and what we got, I think it was a pleasant surprise. He earned himself a start Saturday, which I believe he's getting. I believe Domè said he's
talk about that in a minute, yeah.
So for me, it is Jimmy Sands.
Okay. The only reason why I would give it to Brian Wright on New England is because he made his first start and picked up a goal, the game-winning goal. But I got in the comments here. CJ is saying the fans who watched that crap show for all 90 minutes. Hey, my mom is here. She says Sean Johnson, but I don't think I can really give Sean Johnson too much credit. Coco is saying the coin toss girl was pretty good.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's an option.
Javier is saying the fans.
Fantastic. Listen, the fans. Listen. Aside from the fact that the ball didn't go in the net, the effort was there. It wasn't like it was a poorly played game. At times, yes, it was. But at other times, if we would have scored 3 or 4 goals, that would be one of the most utterly dominating performances I've ever seen from a team.
Lopsidedness. Like, in lopsidedness. The scoreline just didn't show it, dude.
It didn't. So, again, to say it was it was a crappy game, it really wasn't. I mean, it was unfortunate, but, if I had to sit through a 4-0 Red Bull game, that's a different story. That's garbage. This wasn't so much garbage. It was just missing that little bit. That little bit's missing. That little bit's important.
There's some comments here for some other players. Like Joey is saying, Tinnerholm played well, ran a lot, made a lot of great clearances all game. I think his play stood out more than Sands. And then another Joey, oddly enough, is saying, I enjoyed Castellanos' play. He was focused and passionate, but I don't know. Marcus is saying Sweat with a question mark. See, like, this is, I don't know. This is
everybody gets one. It's hard when it's not this decisive, and sometimes it's not. I mean, when it's not this clear, and the team wins the game, it's usually pretty cool because everybody pitched in. This one's a little bit tougher to deal with.
Do we just give it to Jimmy Sands? We got to get off of this. This is like we're spending more time trying to find somebody that actually played well than.
I just think Sands deserves it. I don't. If it weren't for the fact that our finishing was terrible, you wouldn't even be talking about right. So, I'm going with
it's over.
Jimmy.
It's over. All right, James Sands gets due to the match for episode 122. Congratulations, James.
That's his first due to the match.
Your first due to the match. Whatever. I don't know. Who cares? Dude, looking ahead to DC United. This is gonna be tough. So we do have to say that Alex Ring is on yellow card accumulation, so he will not be available for that match, which is going to be an issue because I really wanted to see him go up against Wayne Rooney so bad and try to have Alex Ring try to keep Luciano Acosta at bay. But it's going to have to be the job done for somebody else, dude. I think that person is James Sands. I think he does get the start. He seems like he could fit that 6 role, maybe not as aggressively as Ring, but I think he's got some capabilities there.
Well, Domè said he's going to be he is the 6. You know, that's his spot. Now, if you're going to play him as a 6 the rest of the year, and you're going to move Ring up the field, his play has to get extremely better. Not on the defensive side, but the offensive side. His passes got to be there. His shots on target, you know, they got to actually hit the target. But that's for, you know, we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, James is, I'm okay with that. I mean, he can't do any worse than anybody else on this team right now. So we shall see what happens. But let me tell you, this game is not going to be pretty.
I don't think so. I want to get to a comment here. CJ says that DC United beat Atlanta and is a new look team under Rooney. That entire offense is now firing on all cylinders. He has made everyone else better around him. Excellent point. I'm not very optimistic going into this match. Again, knowing that we still have no Shradi, we still have no Chanel, we still have no Ofori. Let me change that a little bit, dude, because I am going to go back to it because they were able to keep Atlanta at bay. I'm sorry, this is difficult. There's this guy on my shoulder saying, no, they could do this. And then there's this guy on my shoulder saying, no, they're going to suck. Wayne Rooney's going to trample all over them. I'm leaning more towards the guy is saying that it's going to be a difficult match for NYCFC.
They're getting smoked. I'm telling you right now that there's no chance that this team is going to turn it around against this squad. I think you're not going to see a good, solid performance from NYCFC until after the first international break. Or whatever the hell it is. I don't even know what it is anymore. I don't think you're going to see it. I just don't see them doing it. When is the next game after this game?
Who cares?
Well, I mean, it's kind of, it's for my point.
No, I think it's the 2026. There's a big break after this, isn't there?
You got like 2 weeks off, and then you got 3 weeks off in October.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think after the 2 weeks off, you'll see a different squad. Everybody will be healthy.
Marcus is saying, I kind of want DC to win. They have heart. I want to see DC win against anybody else, but not us.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to beat us. I don't want anyone to win. I don't want.
It's Montreal on the 22nd.
Yeah. I'm saying we're going to get smoked because I have a gut feeling that Acosta is going to be ridiculously on fire like he usually is against us when they tend to win.
He's just he's been on just in general. And again, going back to CJ's comment, Wayne Rooney has really actually made everybody around him very, very good. I think they're able to move the ball around really, really nicely. They're able to hold the ball. I mean, dude, again, if you're able to keep Joseph Martinez off the score sheet and beat Atlanta 3-1, you're going to give us a tough time.
Yeah.
Given our current form.
So again, the stadium should be packed because you get a chance to see Wayne Rooney. You get a lot of stray fans coming in to see that one, so should be a good atmosphere.
I'll be happy with a point.
Listen, we will cheer. We will yell, scream, sing. But I have very, very low expectations on this one, and I'm not going to get my hopes up. And if they win, I'll be pleasantly surprised, and I will eat crow, and I will do whatever else you guys want me to do.
I would love to. I would love to be able to eat crow in this situation. 100%. I will.
But I just don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't feel it in my loins, dude.
No, huh?
Just not feeling it.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really feeling it either. But it is.
And you know what? To bring up one more point that we didn't touch on, the leadership on the field, last night's game. Where was it?
We need David Villa to pick this team up on his back the same way he did last year when they were down a man from the 7th minute on against Chicago. That's the David Villa that we need. We need him back, and we need him back on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what we need, and moving forward. Otherwise, we're just dust in the wind here.
All we are is dust in the wind. Hey, dude, last thing I want to just mention here before we wrap this show up. There was a article on MLSsoccer.com from Charles Boehm saying that there is a report that Yangel Herrera could actually return early from an ankle injury. It's possible that, according to this article, guys, go check it out, MLSsoccer.com. I'll actually link it up on the Facebook page, on the Twitter. But Yangel Herrera is reportedly healing very, very well, and there's a good chance that we'll see him for the last couple of games, possibly even this month, as early as September, but potentially for October and into the playoffs. So that would actually, I can't believe I'm going to find myself saying this, but might actually give us a little bit of an oomph in the midfield that we've been missing because we haven't had the creative offense, if in fact this is actually true.
Yeah, maybe. It'll be good news, and it'll be a positive that maybe people can rally behind. But as far as his play, I mean, you need to score goals.
Super hot goals.
He's not a goal scorer. Much more defensive, but he does create room for other people. So
again, he was never a goal scorer.
No. But again, you need people. But if you're not scoring goals,
you need to be helping.
You have to help. Yeah. So again, it's all speculative at this point. They definitely did not want to use the term season ending. Again, quoting Mike from Blue City. So again, with these breaks and the ability to work with extra days, you could and listen, anything that could possibly boost this team is really welcome at this point.
I'll take anything. I'll take. Give me something. I need some sort of positivity coming from this club, dude. Because honestly, the last 7 matches have absolutely been atrocious. Atrocious. So
this again, they got to strip it down. Go back to basics.
Rodrigo on Facebook is asking about Medina. I don't have any update personally on him, and I don't expect that we'll have one either. I thought that was a don't quote me, dude, but I thought that was like a 6 to 8 week injury, wasn't it?
No, I think it was a 2 to 3 week thing with Birgit. I think he and Birgit are on the same schedule.
Who knows?
Another
NYCFC.
Listen, yeah, we don't know anything. It could be. Listen, he could have a leg amputated and we don't even know about it.
Yeah, it's just we'll never know. But yeah, so it's going to be tough. Saturday's definitely going to be a tough match. We're going to be depleted again, but I want to see a performance from our captain, dude. I want to see him take this team on his back, like we know that he can. Because if Domè is not going to motivate this team, the only other person that I think can is David Villa, and I think it's going to have to happen on the field because something is just not clicking off.
That's a good point. You make a good point. If you have a vocal leader on the field that can persuade everybody to, all hands in, then Domè can continue the way he is, being quiet and kind of channeling things through him. But again, if the team needs motivation and they're looking for their head coach to do it, I just don't think he's that
It's
kind
too
of guy.
quiet.
I think you need a little more rah-rah, and if you need more rah-rah, your assistant has to do it, or you've got to get something to do it. And unfortunately, the fans aren't always enough. So, again, we shall see what happens, and hopefully keep our fingers crossed and wish for the best.
That's right. Well, listen, I didn't think we were going to make it to 45 minutes tonight, but we certainly did.
We did.
Because if you
The fourth official has indicated no minutes of stoppage.
Yeah, that's right. The whistle's about to blow. I'm going to get to one more comment here on Facebook here because I kind of want to put this one to bed. CJ is asking, let me ask you guys this. If we lose again this Saturday, will you start to waver in Domè, especially if Villa seems lost from a motivational standpoint?
Nope.
I'm not because I'm going into this match with low expectations as it is. I think if this was like I don't know, if this was like Montreal, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not.
If this team spirals out of control and crashes at a full health and can't manage to win the game or score another goal the rest of the season, then I will say Domè out. But until then, this guy has you've got to put faith in him. You've got to believe in him a little bit. You can't just get rid of everybody that walks through the door here because the revolving door thing is not going to work. You will not be able to keep a good coach here at all because no good coach in their right mind wants to go up against perfection. Nobody is perfect. And you can't be afraid to make a mistake. Like, even the players can't be afraid to make mistakes because then they start playing a little too perfect. And much like yesterday, they try to find the perfect little thing, and all of a sudden your opportunities are gone. So, it's a high risk, high reward type thing, and you got to give them to get something. So, you know what? If we got to give up a few games now to have a great season next year and make a deep run next year,
or a deep playoff run, dude.
Listen, it's fine. Again, if you go one and out again, and you give the guy a window, and you get some players in here that are going to help the system out and maybe turn things around, and next year you're going to go deeper, and you're going to get rid of this stupid lull they have at the end of the season where they can't score goals, that's fine. Again, this is a long-term project. I understand everybody's in win-now mode, and because the last two seasons we've finished second place, I understand, and I fully expect it. I want that push. And I think that's what most people are upset with. I think they're realizing that, the team looks like there's no push there for that. Like they're not on the same page as us. And again, those are games that are tough to watch. Yesterday wasn't one of them. The team was definitely pushing. It was just quality wasn't there. So now if you get the quality there and that effort with a healthy team, you're going to win games. It's just, you got to be patient and everybody's got to make sure that they buy in and everybody's doing their part. And as long as that happens, we should see good results. And again, they don't have to win every game. They don't have to win the majority of the games. You just have to, your form has to be found before you get into the playoffs. And if you find it, you are poised for a good run. It's the nature of the beast. It's you getting hot at the right time, and you can ride that heat wave all the way to the final.
Dude, we're going to give CJ a yellow card for time wasting here because we've added on an additional 3.5 minutes of stoppage.
That's okay. It's good. We're good. It's a full show. Everybody got what they wanted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, we really do appreciate you guys joining us for this little bonus episode of the Dudes in Blue. It's episode 122. Really sorry that you had to watch what you watched last night. I know people paid money to actually see that. That's unfortunate. But nevertheless, we will be back on Monday night for episode 123 at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live and on Tuesday on the audio podcast as well. Make sure to visit dudesandblue.com. We got lots of goodies going on there now. Anthony Merced has been lighting it up with content, some opinion pieces, some recaps, some previews. Absolutely fantastic. So make sure to check out dudesandblue.com. And we really do appreciate your feedback. So if you enjoy the show, if you don't enjoy the show, let us know on Facebook or iTunes, depending on where you guys are watching. Leave us those reviews so we know that you like the show, or if you don't, if there's things you want to see or hear, and we really appreciate that. So, dude, it's been fun. It was more fun doing this than it was, well, no, I can't really say that because sitting pitch side was freaking amazing. But other than that, we'll be back on Monday night. But until then, stay blue.
Stay blue.